Okay, so we're going to talk about a program called OBS, right? The name of OBS stands for Open Broadcasting Software. Anytime you hear the word open in any program, open stands for, basically it stands for it's an open source program, meaning that it's free and it's not maintained by one person. So like how you would have Microsoft Word and Excel and Access and PowerPoint, all these things managed and created by Microsoft. Open source program really is just a community of people that just come together and they maintain the software. So and because of the fact that they maintain it, the open source means the code for it is open and anybody can make whatever changes and things that they wanted, right? So anytime you hear the word open in front of any program, it means that it's free and open source. So like we have open OBS, you have open LP, it have open VPN, it have open SSH, it's a whole bunch of open programs, right? So OBS, like I say, it stands for Open Broadcaster Software. And when we say open, well, open, like I said before, open broadcaster software is a free and open source cross-platform. When they say cross-platform, means to say that it's available on Windows, on Mac, on Linux, on very different operating systems. So it's available on any one of those operating systems that I would have called out there. So it's an open source cross-platform streaming and recording program built with Qt and maintained by the OBS project. Right. So what we use OBS for? Uh, Basically, well, I mean, it can be used for a lot of things. I just put the three main things that I could have think of. OBS is used for live streaming, which is very prevalent and very popular right now. It's used for recording, so you could use it to record your audio and video, not just audio and video, but you could use it to record like presentations, stuff like what I'm doing right now. This didn't really have to be a live session. I could have just use OBS and record it and just send the video to someone. So it's used for recording, and also you could use it for the editing of videos and even audio. But I guess you'll see more about that when we actually go into the program, right? Why use OBS? Main thing is free. So you actually don't have to pay for OBS. You can actually go to the OBS website and download it for free. You don't have to pay anything, which is I think is a major benefit as opposed to other software that you could use out there um, for live streaming and recording. Um, it's easy to customize. Uh, Even before I even go through this list, I would say one thing: there's a learning curve. You actually have to play with it in order to kind of figure out where everything is. But once you get familiar with it, it's easy to customize. It's easy on resources, meaning that you don't really need a really powerful um, computer to run it or a powerful laptop. So that's why I say it's easy on resources. Um, it's easy to connect to other streaming services like Facebook and YouTube and well, Facebook and YouTube is the more popular ones, but it have other like Discord. It have other streaming services like what gamers just use that you could connect OBS to. So, but I just listed the popular ones that we're really dealing with right now, which is Facebook and YouTube. It's easy to edit and design um, your live stream or your recording. Like I say, once you get familiar with it, you'll see how easy it is. Um, and the next cool benefit about it is, which in some cases, some software you would actually have to get a separate piece of hardware to do this, which is record while you're streaming. But OBS could actually do that as well. So even while you're streaming to whether it be Facebook or YouTube, you can actually record as well. But keep in mind, all these things would actually take up resources on whatever computer you're using. So, I mean, if you have a computer that isn't really fast and doesn't have much RAM or processing power, if you want to call it that, the recording might actually take up a lot from having to record and stream at the same time. How to use OBS? Right, so I'm going to run through these three slides real quick and we're just going to jump jump right into it, right? I'm gonna cover these topics here. How we're gonna install OBS, how we're gonna configure it. I'm gonna explain to you all what is scenes, what is layering, how to control the audio, filters. I will explain all that as we go through. What is how to do transitions, what is studio mode, the different type of sources. So you can see here, it have much more sources than this. But I will cover the main one, which is media, text, NDI, picture, slideshow, and scene. Right. So that's the end of um, that PowerPoint there. So what we will do, you all still seen, well, you all see my background?
Yeah.
Is Ant-Man, right? I wonder if you've seen the correct screen because I'm on different screens. Okay, cool. So just grab a screen here. Right, then we go straight into just straight for OBS. Going to the website. Like I tell you all, it's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, right? So the machine that I'm on right now is a Windows machine. So I'll download the version for Windows. So it's downloading there. You can see it pretty small to finish download already. Launch it. There you have prompt to install. This normal installation is run through the wizard right there. Um, oh, I have a program running that kind of keeping it back from running. We'll just close that program. All right, retry. The program is closed yet. Should we put it now? No. Oh, that's our next program. All right, cool. So basically what happened there just now, it have two programs I was running that it was basically saying that it wouldn't really run well with OBS. So I should probably close it, and that's exactly what I do. I close the program and the installation continues. If you all have any questions before I continue, yes, let me know, right? Okay, so it finished download there. I'll launch it. Yeah, so I kind of okay. Okay, so I have to switch screens because it apparently coming up on this other screen here. So when you all could see this, the next screen. You all seen it?
Yeah, I see it.
Right, cool. So OBS finish install and now it's running, right? The first time you run it, they're gonna ask you what's your main purpose for OBS? Is it that you're gonna use it for streaming? You're gonna optimize it for streaming and secondary will be recording? Or is it that you want to optimize it for recording and you will not be streaming? Or if you want to use it for a virtual camera, I'll talk about the virtual camera aspect after. But in most cases, you're gonna want to use it for streaming, right? So I'm gonna leave it just as that. Um, and well, I know Anna, you there. So in your case, you might want to use it for recording, so you could choose the second option, right? But if you're using it for streaming software, you use the first one. So you run through this here. They're asking your base canvas. Your base canvas basically is what monitor that you're using right now, the resolution. Um, I will leave it as the default. And you can leave all the default settings. Right, run right here. They're gonna ask you, because of the fact that I choose the first one, which is streaming first, they'll ask you what service you're streaming to. Is it YouTube, Facebook, and all these other options here? I will say I'm going to stream to Facebook, and then they'll ask if I stream key. So when I ask you for the stream key, go to Facebook and show you all what the stream key is.
What is it?
So a stream key. So you see they're asking you here for a stream key,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's basically how the program is going to connect to Facebook via a key, right? And here they're asking you for the key. So you have to go to Facebook to get the key. So that's why I'm bringing you to my Facebook page here. And you would see like live video on the status. So if you click live video, okay, right. So okay, so you see when you're going to stream, they'll ask you on Facebook. They ask you what you want to do. You want to use a streaming key, or you want to use your camera. If you use your camera, you're going to be streaming off the camera on your laptop itself. But I don't want to use that. I want to use a program to stream, which is OBS. So yeah, we say we're going to use our stream key, and this is the stream key right here that you need. Basically, all you have to do, copy, go back to OBS, paste it in. Again, leave all the default settings. Click next, and you're gonna test your bandwidth to see how good your internet is. And the program itself will adjust to how good your internet is. If it's good, you might get higher settings. If it's not so good, then it might kind of bring down the settings a little bit to manage, to ensure that it get the best possible streaming settings that you're looking for. So I click yes. Basically, it's sending a signal there to Facebook. And if you see, look at the bottom right hand side, you'll see the same thing you're seeing on the screen is exactly what's streaming to Facebook right now. But mind you, this is not live just yet. This is just the program sending the stream to Facebook. So according to my computer and the internet settings, that the internet connection that I have, it shows these settings here. 6,000 video bit rate, all these not I wouldn't go into the technical terms, but just keep in mind that it shows the best settings according to the computer that you're running it on. You apply settings and that's it there. Now if you ever want to run through back this again, you could go under tools, auto configuration wizard, and you can run through it again. So like let me say right now it's set to for the best possible settings for streaming, and you decide, okay, I want to use it for recording now. Run back through the wizard and just choose recording and run through the wizard again. All right. That's that. So let's see. The first thing that I said I'm gonna run through is layering. I can't talk about layering just yet because I haven't spoken about sources. So I'll come back to that. Okay, so you have your scenes, which is on your left hand side here. Your scenes are what, like let's say if it's a video or a different camera, or you want to change, basically basically that. If you want to change your scene, that's where you're gonna set up your scenes, right? Um, so in my case, like let's say we're gonna stream something on Facebook, I will name my first scene intro, right? So and you can rename the default scene that they give you here. Just right click, go to rename, and I'll name it intro. So it's something meaningful to me. I know what this scene contains in it, right? Um, now this doesn't have anything in it, and as you can see, I was talking right now, and you're seeing the microphone just jumping. So it's not picking up the microphone from the laptop. So if I were to go live right now, you would hear, well, whatever is passing through the program. Whoever is looking on your live, they would see that. So what you could do is bring down the audio so that they don't hear me talking like what I'm talking right now. Or you have the option of muting it, right? So it's mute there and you're not hearing anything. Another thing, if you go to this little icon bar here, it's for settings really. You can go to advanced audio properties and it will show you all your audio devices and From here, you'll choose if it is you want to hear it, like if you want to monitor it, but you're muting the output, or if it is you want to monitor and output. Most times I select monitor and output. So in other words, monitor and output means that um, wherever you're streaming to or recording to, you could listen from there, as well as you could hear at the same time what is going on. So I guess what I'll do, I'll log into um, the computer in church, and I think you'll better understand that when we get to that part. So that's that part of the audio there, right? Sources is basically what it is you're going to put into the program. Now, in the slide, I show you all that a lot of different sources. This add button here, it's kind of intuitive. Add is to add, obviously. Minus is to remove. This is not sure what this is for. It's at the up and down button. You could readjust your sources, and the up and down buttons will kind of more come into play when I talk about layering. So basically, if you want to add something, these are all the different types of sources that you could add. You could add a input capture device. So a audio input capture. So audio input, obviously, like it sounds, is audio coming into the program, right? So your mic, take your mic for example. That's our audio input capture device, right? And let's click that. If I click that, you can give it whatever name it is you want. You could put test or something. Click OK, and then it'll ask you. You click the drop arrow, and you see in there right off the bat, you're seeing my headset that I have on right now, and you're seeing the microphone from the laptop. So it asking you there basically what it is, which one you want to add as an input device. Do you want to add the headphones that you're using right now, or you want to use the mic from the computer? I will choose the mic from the computer. I hit OK. So going on there now is it capturing audio from both the laptop mic as well as the audio from the headphones. You see as I talk in there right now, you're just seeing it jumping up and down. You just remove it, right? The next thing that you could do, I've seen that I don't want to use this anymore. You just remove it, right click, remove, as that, right? Let me focus. Right. The other one is audio output capture. So as it would as the name gives it away, it's an audio output. It's more like a speaker or something connected to the computer. That's where audio output capture would come into play. But again, like I say, when we jump to the church computer, I'll show you all what's the audio output, or how it could come into play. Browser. Basically, as it says, what a browser is, whether it be Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome, whatever browser you use, you can actually add browser stuff into the scene as well. So take for example, something up here. Let's see, we go to what website you want to go to? I go to Flow website. Right, so all websites have a URL, right? So this is the URL for Flow right now. If I right click that and copy the URL, and I go back to OBS, again, you can name it whatever you want. If I name it Flow, click OK, and then they're asking what's the URL. So you just highlight this, you paste over what it is that have there, click OK. Boom, all of a sudden you have Flow website on your OBS, right? And whatever you do on that page, I think whatever you do at that, oh no, sorry, that'll just be a static image. It will just be Flow website showing up there, right? Now you realize I have that there, and it kind of hard to adjust, right? What you can do to pull it up properly, what I usually do is right click, go to transform and say fit the screen, and that's it. It fit to the screen there, right? You'll see better how this works when we start adding pictures and videos, right? And next thing too is if you want to add other stuff, you know what? I'll leave that right there. We'll go to the next source device. There's color source. I'm not sure what this is. This is for, okay, I guess if you want, I just want to add a random color. It's, obviously we'll leave it. It's a deep blue or something. You have a deep blue there, but you realize now that yeah, the color there, but you're not seeing your flow page anymore. So you're wondering, okay, well, where my page gone? Basically, what is going on there is this is on top of it. So you see what's going on there, right? And this is where the layering that I mentioned earlier comes into play. All right. So you have this on top of that. Now, depending on what it is, you could adjust it around to however it is you want. If it depending on what it is, if it's text or something, and it'll be well, that's how it'll show, right? But when you look back on sources, you're seeing here the color source on top of the flow source, right? What will happen if I move the color source underneath the flow source? Basically, what will happen is that's it there, right? It 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 basically gone behind it, right? So you're seeing that, right? It gone behind the color source, gone behind the browser source. And if it as it start to keep adding more stuff, it's gonna be hard to kind of keep track of what is what. So what I suggest is when it is you get something in place and you don't want it moving again, there's a little lock paddle next to it. You click lock, and I said I can't move. Oh, that's color source that the color source that I lock. Okay, I lock this here. Right, so I can't move the flow anymore. It's locked into place. I could still move around the color source because the color source not locked. Only when you lock it, that's it. You can't move nothing anymore. Seeing that, right? Next one is display capture. So what will happen with the display capture is I just keeping them as their default names. It's like if you have more than one, if you're recording and you want to record your screen. So right now I own two screens. I own the laptop screen and I own an added screen that connected to the laptop, right? So you say you wanted to capture the second screen. Second screen. What will happen here is it will ask you which one you want to capture. Do you want to capture your display one or your display two? Right now, it capturing display one, which is what we're looking at right now. That's why you're seeing this kind of weird effect. If I click capture display two, it will jump to the next screen. And some computers and laptops and everything, they have multiple displays, so you could capture whichever display it is you want to capture there, right? So that's basically what the display capture is for. You see it have a button here for capture mouse. So like if it's a presentation or something that you're doing and you want your viewers to see your mouse, you see your mouse moving around there. You could use that, or if I want, I could just disable that, and now you're not seeing my mouse, right? I'll leave it on, right? Have a next layer there, right? Next one is game capture. I'm not sure what game capture is for. Let me just check. Yeah, I never really use this one, so I could just probably remove that one, right? Although I know that's not really important for what it is we're going to use it for. Image capture, if you want to put a picture. So basically, you choose image capture and you browse. Browse for whatever picture you want to use. If you come here, select this one, this handsome looking fella, right? See, and you have an image right in and you could move it around and whatever. Right, and you lock that into place. Next one is your image slideshow. I think this one, if it is you have a I never use this one either. But if you have multiple pictures and you want to create a slideshow, you could use this source for doing that. But I never really dig up into this one, so I wouldn't really be covering it. Right? And let me say you have everything you need for your first scene, right? And you want to jump to your second scene now. Simple. You come back to scenes here, click add, and you name your second scene worship or something, right? That's when you're going to transition to your worship. So you get a blank screen again to set up more sources. You could jump back and forth. You hire intro, you hire worship coming in here, right? Next thing, as you're moving back and forth, if you'll see you'll see over here, you're seeing which is scene transitions. So you could see how long you want the transition to last. So let me see. Right now is at 300 milliseconds. Let's say I put it for 3000 milliseconds, like 3 seconds. So you're going to take 3 seconds to transition from this to this. So you click it, 1, 2, 3, and a transition, right? Adjust it again, say make it 5 seconds, 5,000 milliseconds is 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And the fully transition there. That's just a fade effect. There are more effects that have a cut. You're gonna just switch from it back and forth. You're gonna get no smooth transition. You can add like a swipe or something. They will show you. You click preview transition. It will show you what it's gonna look like. Now you could choose if it is you wanted to move from left to right, what's your direction, or if you wanted to move from right to left, or if you wanted to move from up to down, or you wanted to move from down to up, and it will do that. So you see, and I just if it's a swipe transition, it have much more that I'm not really gonna go into, but you could check it out for yourself. These stingers is nice ones too. I don't think it's like more like a video file that you have to use for this though. I don't think it have any example stingers that they give you. But just keep it basic. I just use the feed, right? And just adjust the time. 5 seconds is kind of long, like 1 second or something. But then again, it depends on what it is you're transitioning from and to. That's how you adjust your transitions, right? Right. So now we're on worship. Let me continue with the sources. So we had gotten to image slideshow, right? One main one that you're going to look at is media source. So your media source is going to be things like videos. So like if you have a recording and you want to import your recording into it, it could be audio. It could be any media device. Once it's a video or a record, right? Same thing. Add.
Okay,
Yep.
question. Stop.
Yeah.
Um, so this is what I'll be using if I using a soundtrack.
Media. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So you would name it and a song, and then you browse the file wherever the song file is. You capture it and you uh, no keep in mind if it's a song and you click OK, it will show up underneath here. You'll see the audio feed, but you're not going to see a display because obviously it's a song, right? What you could also do is in it, if it so basically like what I do right now, when it is we want music playing over and over, like in church for my preaching, I just put whatever audio file it is and put loop. So as soon as it finish, it's gonna start back again without me having to do anything. It's, all these other things that I don't really think you need to dig up with it. If you're curious, you could probably play around and see what's gonna happen. I guess this might probably say how fast or how slow you want the video or the audio to play. Right, but leave it at, well, I think the default was 100%. So I think 100% might be normal. And this way might be if you want to slow it down. This way might be if you want to speed it up. I assume it because I never really play around with this. Right? Right, cancel. Um, that's a media source, right? Uh, Oh, a next thing to mention is if it is in a new scene, you want to add something that you added previously in the first scene, keep in mind that those things are already there. You don't have to go and add it back. So like, let me say we're going to go back and we want to add back the image, right? You click add existing, your image done there already, and you click OK, right? You see the handsome fella coming back, right? Then you go again, browser source, and you say we want backflow, we bring backflow flow right there, right? So everything done added already. You know how to go back and add a new one. So that's why it's kind of important too. So like when you're adding something, you give it a meaningful name so you know exactly what it is you're adding. So like if you gotta look back for it, you don't have to go and use the default names like what I use here, like image. If I see image, I don't know what image is. So give it a name, picture of Miguel or Anna song, or something like that, right?
Oh, so this is how everybody is named Anna Bagondas.
No, I'll get into that afterwards, right? I'll get into that. That is no, that is not the reason. um, scene. Now, sometimes what's gonna happen, you would want an entire scene in thing. Okay, so I'm gonna add here. Uh, name this by announcements or something, right? So you have announcements here, and sometimes what you might want to do, you might want to pull whatever it is in worship in this new scene here. So what this allowing you to do, you click scene, and you could actually pull one of the scenes that you have over here. So like, let me say we pull worship into this announcement scene, right? And it's there by itself. So that will remain static. That's not going to change until you change something in worship itself, right? So like we say, I'll add back something again here, color, right? So back blue. And I change something here now, right? And I go back to announcements. You see, you're now seeing it over here. It changed to. That's what adding a scene into, is basically a scene within a scene, right? And you continue adding whatever sources you want. So now you want to add text. Name it correct. Like say it is announcement. And you put your announcement here, please remove vehicle, blah blah. Right? What you could do, you could adjust the font size, adjust whatever font style you want, and um, whatever type of font that you want to use. And you have more options here. You can strike it out, you can underline it. All these are writing systems. I really dig up in all that. Right? Um, that get looking weird there because of the font size, I think. Uh, yeah, the font is kind of weird. So let me just add back a new one. Text. Right? Keep in mind you can't really name back something, give something a name that already exists, right? So like, okay, I'll just now I spell announcements wrong and put it as announcement. But seeing that that already exists, like let's say if I go to add back something, yeah, I get it look like I spelled the two of them different. But if you give something the same name, it will tell you that this already exists to choose another name or something. Please remove vehicle. Now what you could choose to do, this font thing have a lot of other options to do, right? So you could put it in all in uppercase, um, all in lowercase, start case. You could put it vertical if you want. You could change the color. You could make it kind of transparent. You see, you could put a little background around it, a little border or something. Um, alignment, you could center it. You could put the outline around it. Yeah, so that's all the settings that you really use do with text. You can move it to wherever you want and kind of scale it down. Big. So yeah, bring it on here. What I could do is, you see when you moving it, the whole thing moving, right? So if you hold, I think it's a shift, and you try to move it, it'll stay in place. But you see in the image, it's all stretching too, right? I'll let go shift, right, you see? So hold shift to keep it in place. I think if you press control will, no, not control, I think it's alt. No, it's not alt. Well, we'll get to that just now. All right. So we stretch that across there. They're really doing nothing. But I'll get to that just now. Text, we have video capture device. Video capture device is obviously what it sounds like. It is a device that's going to capture video. So I click OK. Right. Right, it's in you, but now please. You could choose what it is you want to capture your device. If it is you want to use the camera on your laptop that you're looking at, that you're using right now, or if it is you want to use the OBS virtual camera, which I'll get to that just now, or like what we're using in church right now, which is something called a capture card. You use that, right? And I'll actually talk about what the capture card is too. So right now, I'll just keep it as the capture card. Okay. Right, we add your video device there. Next thing is window capture. Window capture, basically you're gonna capture whatever window you have open in on the computer at the time. So like we say, I choose that there. Right now, I have all these things open on the computer. So like I have, okay, look at the calculator open right now. If I click calculator, they will capture the window itself that you have open. Not seeing it though. Okay. Some of the things will be kind of weird, right? So it actually capturing my browser there. No, it capture in the browser, yes, but keep in mind a browser capture and a window capture is a browser capture and a window capture is two different things. Eh? The browser capture is when you need you use your URL to put it in. The window capture is it will capture what you're doing at that point in time. So the PowerPoint that I had open earlier. So it will basically put whatever window inside of the well, dashboard, if you want to call it that, where you're going to record or stream. And well, right, you could group them and stuff like that. I'm not really going to go through all that. I don't really use it. I believe there are probably benefits to doing it, but I never really get a chance to dig around in it. Now I'm going to talk about something called filters, right? Now, every one of these sources that you're adding, and this is where we get into the editing part of it, right? You can add something called filters to it. So like your text here, right? Let's say I want to add a filter to it. And you've seen it right here, showing up right here. Properties will give you whatever it is you had that you edit before. Filters now is a whole new dimension that we're going to come to start to actually edit stuff. So remember, this is a text filter. So the only filters that you can get to the text filter is these that you're seeing coming up here. Right now, one cool thing that I like here is the scrolling filter. You add it, and you name it. Well, you can leave it at the default name, but if you want, you can name it whatever you want. And as you see here, you're seeing horizontal speed, vertical speed. What will happen if I move this? What's gonna happen? You're seeing that? If I increase it a little more, you're seeing the text actually starting to move on your screen. If I want, I could slow it down, or make it go the next direction. Or if it is you want it to go up down, you can have it going like that. Right? Same thing. Go backwards. You could always click default to reset everything. Next thing is if you want to loop it, you could probably just do it one time and that's it. So if you do that, so that's it. You see it not coming back again, right? Because I unclick loop. Once the loop click, it will just keep going over and over. So that's the filter for it. I mostly use filters on the media sources. So I will show you all that just now. I want to jump on the computer and change, but before I do that, let me just make sure I cover everything. So there's layering, I talk about that, audio, filters, transition, studio mode. Oh, studio mode is, if you come here on your right hand side, you see start streaming, start recording, start virtual camera, and studio mode. Studio mode, basically, if you click that, you're gonna split everything in half here. So what gonna happen? And this comes in handy when it is just streaming, because what will happen is, keep in mind the right hand screen is what people gonna be seeing on your live stream, and the left hand screen is what you as a person that controlling it gonna be seeing. So let's say we're streaming right now, and that's what they're seeing on the right hand side. I can basically change here, and it's not gonna change what on the live stream. And I can make whatever changes and thing I want here. Say like, okay, I don't want the color source anymore. I can remove it. Or I don't really need to remove it. Watch what you could do. Each one of them next to each one of these sources have an eye next to it. Basically, what the eye is gonna do is if you could see it or if you can't see it. So the eye is open right now, and that's why you're seeing it. If I click that, you close the eye, and that's it. You're not seeing it anymore. You remove it, you just stop it from showing. Same thing with this, right? And you can always click it and bring it back, right? So you can make whatever changes you want here, and it's not gonna affect your live stream. The reason why it's affecting it right now is because what I did was I captured the scene. So let me just remove that to kind of remove, so it wouldn't be confusing. So I'm removing the scene there, right? Right, as we're streaming there. Oh, no, it's still changing. Why is it changing? Transition. Okay, transition back. Okay, cool. Right. So we're showing if you are seeing what you're seeing on the right hand side there, and I'm making my changes on the left hand side here as I wish, and they're not gonna affect anything. Right. And basically when you're done make your changes, and let's say they're seeing the screen now and they want to move to your worship scene, you have different options. You could choose a smooth transition, or you could choose the ones we were looking at before. You could feed it, you could do whatever options you want and change its timing and everything. I just choose transition and I'll switch over to that scene. You want to go back to the intro, do the same thing, transition and go to the intro. Right? So that's what we're using that for. That's what you use the studio mode for. The studio mode is, like I said, it's coming handy when it is your live streaming, so that you see if you had it like this, right, and you're live streaming. Now I kind of stuck there. I can't do nothing on any of the other scenes without disrupting the live stream. Because if this is what the viewer is seeing right now, then I can't come here. I want to make a change because it'll change and the viewers will see the same thing. So that's why it's better to use the studio mode, right? What I will do now, I will jump to the computer in Church so we can see exactly how this thing zooms. Right, let's launch OBS. Right, so you'll notice that the one in Church is looking kind of different because we kind of customize it, myself and Nathaniel customize it a little bit to kind of suit our needs for it, right? Oh, mind you, these things could move around however you want it to move to it. So like, I'll show you. Go back to the original one. So like, you have your audio mixer here, and you really don't like it here, and you want to move it there, you can just move it. See? So these things you can move it around however you want to. It depends on your preference, really. Right? You would notice that the one in Church have some added stuff to it. And that's where the whole open source thing that I was talking about earlier comes into play. The program itself doesn't come with, you seen this pane here. This is something that we download. It's a third-party extension that we download and we add to the program, which should give you people name and stuff when it isn't coming on. The like Anna was asking just now, why everyone name Anna background dance is because sometimes, like you see here right now, it's switched on. So sometimes when the scene becomes active, whoever name is selected at that point in time, that's what they show up at the bottom there. So like we have names set up like Joel Bogauti, Walter Bogauti, Dorina Bogauti, right? All these names for this one, and then it have additional ones, right? We just have it queued up there just in case anybody have to go on, right? But I'll get into that one just now. Right. So the media source now. I'm gonna go straight up the account now. Right. Oh, and next thing to mention, this is another extension that we add to the program that didn't come with the program. What this does is when you're using OBS, right, you have an option to stream to one settings. You have an option to stream to one place. So it's either Facebook or YouTube or Restream or Twitter or right. Only one place you could stream to. That is what the native program comes with. What we did, we downloaded an extension and added to the program, which gives us the option to stream both on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. How are you going to stream to YouTube? It's basically the same thing. If you go on YouTube, I have everything bookmarked already, so it's just to click and go. Right. It's the same thing. YouTube gonna give you a stream key, right? I could copy that stream key, and that stream key is like I tell you, you have the option of actually changing where you're streaming to over here, but I just keep it mainly streaming to Facebook. And this extension that we discovered and we added, we use this to stream to YouTube. Now everything is set and it doesn't change. So the stream key is never gonna change. This is unique and it belongs to you. Right? So I don't even have to change this, but as you can see, this is where it goes. You see RTMP server, you're getting that information right there too on YouTube. Look at here, RTMP server. I just copy, paste it into the program over here. That's it. You don't make no other changes. Just leave it as is, click OK. And when you're ready to start your stream on YouTube, you click, well, I don't really want to click start because it will start streaming on YouTube. Anyways, you know what? I could do it and just remove it afterwards. If I click start, and I go to YouTube, and that's it there. You're live on YouTube now. Right. Well, no, right. You're now live on YouTube. You now see it come up there, right? And hit stop. And that's for YouTube alone. If you want to go live on Facebook, you start streaming here. I'm gonna switch it to studio mode. Right. Now, before we continue with this OBS, I don't want to keep all it too long because it's done an hour already. But I just want to run through how everything is set up in Church very quick, so we have an understanding of how everything working. All right. So you all know in Church we have the laptop that Jonathan and Andrea is use, which is the DC. I name it DC laptop. That has a HDMI cable connected to it, and it runs to the front of the church, right where the post is, where there's a splitter. Now this splitter gives you a connection to the TV on the wing. It gives you a connection to the TV on the stage, and it also gives you a connection to the projector. So whatever you display from here, you're going to see it in these 3 places here, right? I think that's straightforward. The next thing is where it gets a little more complicated. Do a puzzle diagram, I think. I'll just go through it and explain it, and if you have any questions, you could feel free to stop me. Right? So this little piece here is what we looked at just now. Yeah, the DC laptop connected to the HDMI splitter, which goes to each TV and projector. That's this piece here, right? Also connected to this laptop, this laptop is also connected to the modem, which is in the back by where myself and Anil would be seated. There's a router which gives this laptop internet connectivity. Then there's a next cable that running from that router to the Digicel modem in the office, right? And which goes out to the internet. So that's how everybody gets internet, through this router, this modem, right? Also connected to this router is the DEC desktop, which is used for the live streaming, right? Now it's important that the DEC desktop and the DC laptop on the same network, because, well, reason being is because whatever being projected to Easy Worship, we could also capture it on the DC desktop and send it out to the live stream. And I'll show you exactly how we just do that too, right? Right. So the DC desktop now, it takes a video input from the camera, right? Now the camera cannot connect directly to the desktop, right? So that is not possible. I mean, it's possible with some cameras, but it's not really advisable. In order for you to get proper quality, we use something called a capture card, right? A Elgato capture card. So what happens here, wherever you see this black thing, these black end connections, is really, these are HDMI connectors. So you have a HDMI going to your camera, and on the other end you have a HDMI going into the capture card. The capture card is then connected to the laptop via USB port. So it goes into the USB, and that's how we get the video. Getting the video is good, but what's going to happen if the people can't hear anything, right? That's where we have the Elgato focus, right? That comes into play to capture the audio. Now, go on top of the stage here. So on the stage, we have speakers, we have a mic, guitar, keyboard, drums, whatever. Everything is connected to the main board, which Anil is in control of. And coming out of the board, we take two connections, two two three-quarter adapter connections from the board, and we run it into the focus, right, the front here, right? So you can see it clearly front here, right? So your inputs going into there. So once everything's sounding good on the board, everything should come into here sounding good as well. On the board, on the focus, right? Sorry, you have your gains. Basically, is your relay volume, and it have 2 lights. You want to stay within the green and orange. If it is if it is you're using it and you're seeing red, that means to say you're gonna get some distortion. So the best thing to do at that point in time is to lower your volume. When you lower the volume, it might go back down to orange or green, right? At the back of this box, there's also another 3/4 inch cable. 3/4 inch output, that is. That's if you want to connect this box to a speaker so that you can hear what's going on as well. So you connect it in the back, and this is the volume button for it. So that's why they call it monitor. So really for it to monitor what's going on in the back there, right? What's going on, or rather what's coming into the box. If you want to listen to it and you don't want nobody else to hear what it is you're hearing, you could also plug in front here, which is what Arnold usually does, use the plug in here to hear what it is going on to the live stream. So plug in your headphones here, and you use this for volume for the headphones. So this is volume for the speaker. If you connect a speaker to it to listen, for everybody to hear it, and this is the volume for the headphone if you all don't want to hear what's going on. right? And this box is also using a USB cable. Gone too far. Zoom out a little bit. Right, over here. It's also using a USB cable to connect to the computer. Right, so jump back into the OBS. OBS, no, wrong. Jump back to the church computer. Right, so we had to do some cleaning up because it have a lot of things here that not really required anymore. Like take for example, let me come off the studio mode. We have YKC text. If I take off that, okay, that's that heading on top there. I wanted to know what it was. Right, so you can change the wording and everything like I told you all before. The timer is also a text. But there's also something, there's a script that we added to it in order to get it moving like that. I'm not going to go into that. That might take some time. The main one is, right, so we had the focus, right, audio, which is well, it's not connected right now, right? But when it is connected into the computer, you would see it coming up here, focus, right, audio, and it would be like a mic or like a audio input into the computer. And here we control the volume of what coming in, right? Well, there's only one control. So basically what's gonna happen is the person that controlling the volume will really be Anil, because he controlling the audio. He controls the bass and the treble and the volume and everything from his board. So what this box is gonna do is it's gonna get whatever it is coming out of the board, the main board. The only thing that we could do here is just drop and add volume. What you can also do with this is, if let's say you're getting some static and you're not sure where it's coming from, or you're getting some noise, um, again, remember I told you you could use filters. So you select the device, you go to filters, and there's different filters that we could add to try to clean up the sound. Now, I'm no sound engineer. I had somebody uh, put in these settings here, which I'm not really going to touch. I had some screenshots of it, even though if we lose it, I could always set it back to where it originally was, right? But basically, the main ones is really the noise suppression. So like if you're getting any noise coming across from the board to the computer, you could adjust the noise suppression here. And by listening to it and move and adjusting these sliders here, right? There are two called the speaks. I don't know if that's what they pronounce it. And there's the RN noise, which uses a lot more CPU, but it actually clears it up very good. But the problem with it though, with using this one, is certain things that is not noise, it might actually pick it up as noise. So like take for example, like when we're doing the puppets and Petra using the high voice, this actually picks up the voice as noise and it cancels it out. So you'll hear one puppet talking, and then when Mandy started to talk, it coming across to the program as noise and it canceling it out. So that's why sometimes it's good to use this one instead. You might hear the noise, but you mightn't hear it as bad. Right, so I can go through these sources here. Like, okay, so normally I would just switch here while we streaming. Go to the mean. When the battery in the camera die, I'll just switch to this one. So people who only live stream, now remember the audio and the video coming in from different devices. So even though I switched to this, the viewers would see this, but they'll still be hearing what's going on, because even though we're changing the camera and the video device, the audio will still keep going. If you understand where I'm coming from. That let's go to, right. So all this you're seeing here is really just a video that run in the background. right? And the Facebook and YouTube is just pictures that are pulled from Facebook, pulled from Google, sorry. And that's what we just be seeing there. This is just a picture, these are picture, these are picture, all this is text. The text source that we use, as we just manually put in all that, right? And like I say, you can move it around however you want. Even this that moving in the bottom here, that's our next one, a text one that we saw earlier. And yeah, just in the speed. All right. We actually go into our video now. All right, let's go to our video with Anna. Right? I mean, Brother Miguel be soon, right? You see what happened there, right? I switched it, and sometimes I'm not sure why this has come on for itself. It just I switching it back off and choosing a name. The correct name is Anna back one. That's click it, and it will come back. Right? I'm not really sure why sometimes when I use it to turn it on for itself. Usually, what I do is like if I realize that the person video gonna come to an end. So if I click here, this is what playing right now. So if I double click and I go to browse, I select the video that I want to play. Right. So this is what playing right now. And you can see there's a timer that's running that counting down. And you can see how long the video gonna be, which I do think this is it though. No, I think it's this. Yes, this is the video that playing. So you see that this is where naming stuff properly comes into play, because right now I just do this hurry and I didn't name it properly and I had to look for where the video is. So this is actually the video media source 4. And how I could tell is because I know for a fact the video is 20 minutes long and you can see it over here. And this is how it playing. You can actually fast forward it and all too. Right? But why would you want to do that if you're live streaming, right? So video playing there, could control the volume, raise it, right? Actually no, this is not the volume for this. This is the volume for a song that Anna had sent to run in the background. Right, you see WhatsApp audio, something. So this is the music that playing in the background, and you don't really overpower. You don't want to overpower in her, so you probably bring it down to about halfway. The CD volume for Anna, you come down to media source 4. See if I name it properly, I don't know exactly what it is, Anna video or something. Just raise the volume, drop it, whatever it is you want it around. Now, a quick thing on editing though is you see as how this going on. If I wanted to go to filter and let's say I don't like how Anna skin looking kind of dull. No offense, Anna. What I'm trying to say is how the video looking then. What I could do, there's audio and video filters and there's effect filters. So I could probably say,
You could give mass shine.
what's that?
You could give mass shine.
Let me see. um, we could add here and look at, well, obviously if you read it and you'll see it's, let's say we want to do a color correction, right? No, I don't really know big graphic artists or anything there, but I mean, if you play around with this, you could figure out what to do, right? So let's say you raise the gamma. That not doing anything. Okay. Oh, again, I make a mistake. You see, I gone back. This is where proper naming comes into play. I actually editing the audio there, and audio I have nothing to edit is actually this here. Right, so I'm gonna go back to this. Right, good. Oh, good. You're seeing it there now. I add right color correction. Move this so you can see it better, and adjust the gamma. So you see what's going on, right? So switch back to default. What I might want to do is add a little contrast. So yeah, no, reduce the contrast. pull it down. Well, I just scrolling on my mouse here to pull it down a little bit. Brightness, you could adjust the brightness if it find it too bright. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, well, that's a little too dark. Bring back up the contrast a little bit. So basically, I play around with its saturation. Saturation might add a little color. You see? You don't want to overdo it. You to look like a Cheeto or cheesies or
You could
something.
give my tan then.
Yeah. See what's going on there. Hue, you want to raise the hue too much. You could, once you play around with it, you could just do that and try to figure out where exactly you want it. This is if you want it to look transparent. Just get this up here. And remember, we talk about layering. So basically, what's going on right now is there's that picture behind this video. That's how I blurred you out. You see in the picture that is in the back of it. Right? That's that. You can just and you just use the eye to just to take it off. So that's the original video. You click it, that's what your changes. Right? And there's a bunch of other filters that you can play around with to see what it is you want to do. I think it's a sharpen and all too. So like if your video a little kind of blurry or something, it might sharpen it up, I think, for you too. That's okay. One last thing that I think we could cover is when we in church, like I mentioned before, it is important to have the laptop and the computer connected to the same network. Reason being, from here, I have one called Easy Worship. So what has happened is, and I do have access to the other computer to show you, but on the other computer, there's a program called, well, I'm drawing a blank right now. I can't remember what was the name of the program, but basically what it does do, it is use something called NDI to send whatever that laptop seeing, it could send it wirelessly to something else, the next computer that waiting to collect it, if that's what you want to call it, right? What would happen is how we set it up. We set it up such that yes, you're using the laptop to display Easy Worship on your TV and your projector, but at the same time, you're also sending a wireless signal of the words to this computer, right? And this computer, it collecting it via this NDI source here. Now you realize when we now install OBS here, you ain't see nothing like NDI source. And that's another thing that we added manually. That's why that's why it's so good to have these open source programs. You can add functionality to it. So if you click here, you see a NDI source, right? And the NDI source is not something that comes with the program. You click the NDI source, and you click the drop arrow. What it's gonna do, it's gonna pull. And you've seen it there. Easy Worship laptop. It pull in the screen from the Easy Worship laptop. And all the songs. Once the songs go live, you would see it on this here. But how I set it up is that obviously if we change to this scene, the viewer is gonna see only the songs. They're not gonna see anything else. So when we streaming, what I would do is I would go to this one here, main with lyrics, or main with main with lyrics and scripture. So the scene that we was looking at just now with the songs, where the songs alone supposed to be, would be in this little box here, right? And what will be going on in the background here is basically your Elgato camera. I name it Elgato camera, but it's basically the same device that I was showing you all there just now. It will be capturing this as a video input. All right, so if I click this here, yes, whatever going into the Elgato would show up over here. So basically, wherever the camera is seen is what's going to show up over here. Right? Right, and coming down to the very, very, very last thing now. So like when we're recording, I wonder if I have any here. Boy. Okay, good. I have one that was hope. Right? Now, you all know what a green screen is, right? Now, what has happened with the green screen is that once you record anything in front of the green screen, you could basically throw it out and put whatever you want in the background. So as we're looking at this here, we just switch off this, right? Switch off this. Okay, so that's the video. This is the background, right? So basically, I'm gonna switch off everything. So we have this thing blank. We have nothing running, right? And let's say I want to add a background, and I want that as my background, or I want the picture as my background, right? So you see these two different files there. One is a picture, one is a video, and you can tell by the icons here, right? Leave the picture, right? And I want to put a video in front of it, a video that is already shot in front of a green screen, right? Let me show you how it would look originally. It would look like this, right? But we don't want to see that, right? We want to get rid of all the green that we see in and make sure that we could see this background. So basically what you're doing is this is where the layering comes into play. So you want the video in front, which will be higher up, and you want the background lower down, which is below the video. When you go to the video, this is where your filters come into play. You go to filter, right? And there's a filter called, I'm gonna remove it. There's a filter called, okay, so you see the video done there, right? I don't want it to finish. I'm gonna just loop it. So you can play over and over. Right. Go back to filter and you add something called a chroma key. So what chroma key does do is you choose whatever color you want here. Now, basically in the movies and them kind of thing for visual effects, they say it's always better to go with green. That's why they have a green screen. But there's also something called a blue screen. And you can see what's taking place there, right? So we have a green screen, and what the filter is doing is removing whatever is green in the picture. So even when you're using a green screen, it's not a good thing to use a green vest or a green shirt or something because it will make it disappear, right? Now let's say if it was a blue screen, what would happen is, you see, most of Hope disappear there because she have on a blue, um, she have on a blue jersey, a blue shirt, right? Or if we choose magenta, well, magenta do anything. We could use custom colors too. Let's say I choose red. What would have happened? If I choose red, see, Mateo and Hope go on there. Well, I don't need the program recognizing them as red, right? But that why it more important. It's best that you use green when using a green screen, right? And over here too, you could also, if you realize it's not looking smooth, so like you see in here, it could be two reasons, right? Most times is if your lighting not proper, you're gonna get a bad effect. Or if it is your green screen not pull sharply or pull stiff in the background, that could be causing it. Now, when we record and the lighting not so good, that's why you're seeing that in the background around Hope and around Mateo, it's not looking too clean. But you could use some of these things to still kind of clear it up a bit, these little toggles here. But you realize as you go back, the green kind of coming back. So you kind of adjust it in a way that it kind of looks a little presentable. Sometimes it is beyond your control. You really can't really do much about it. Yeah, and you can adjust the colors and how transparent they look. Yeah, you can adjust contrast and brightness and all these other things too. And sometimes even when you play around with it, even though it's not looking properly, playing around with these settings might actually help with your situation and getting it to look a little better. I think I covered everything so far. Do you have any questions?
No, that's okay.
Jonathan, any questions or
No, I'm alright.
you think you know how to use it now?
Well, I'll have to rewatch it a few times just to get accustomed and play around with it.
Yeah, well, I'm recording it so I could organize and send it to everybody.
Yeah.
Right, well, thanks for taking any time to listen.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, all right,
Yeah.
so I'm sleepy. Yeah.
I'm cooking.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I'll see you all when I see you all.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Later.
Right.
Bye.
Thanks for
Yeah.
the pause.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
Okay, bye.